The late text message arrived at, "Good night, dear. We must discuss. We have chosen to postpone the trip until the following." I blinked at the message my heart received last year. Syncing was delayed. We had been preparing this months-long journey with our first family. I had reorganized my work and taken a vacation in years, timetable, budgeted every dollar, and numbered the days as if they were children waiting. I called my mother for Christmas. She reacted with a sigh right away. "I understand your disappointment, Alyssa, but right now things are just too tight for us to afford it." I forced myself to swallow, and I realized I truly struggled financially, and I had been working additional hours at the cafe in order to contribute to this journey, even offering to pay for my own travel expenses. But something about the way she expressed it, such as the choice, had previously been created with my emotions in mind, felt like a slap in the face and didn't matter. Face, I inhaled. "If it has to do with money, perhaps we may locate a shorter trip or a less expensive hotel." She paused for a brief moment. "But I heard it's Alisa," she replied softly. "But it's just not. We'll make it happen next at the appropriate moment." Year I make a promise that I ought to have knew well than to think that 2 days. Later I was browsing Facebook. While I was eating lunch, suddenly my stomach dropped there. A photo of my mother and Dad on the shore, my pulse racing as I gazed at the sun-kissed flesh on the screen. Holds the ocean in their hands, extending behind them, shimmering beneath. I forcefully inhaled the midday sun, and more pictures of my brother were scrolled down. Jake and his girlfriend are pictured on about my parents at a restaurant serving seafood, grinning while eating lobster plates. And then the caption that chilled me to the bone: "Family time is more valuable than money." I wasn't present, though, because according to, the vacation had been rescheduled for them. I sat frozen at the desk and locked my phone cafe counter, my thoughts racing. I sought to think there was an. Perhaps it was a last-minute explanation. Perhaps someone had given them a work item, the journey. But I knew the truth in my heart. Nothing had been put off by them. Just determined that I wasn't involved in. I didn't give my mother a call that evening. Instead of replying to the post, insolently stared as more pictures came in. In the days that followed, they went. They had bonfires while snorkeling on the. Without me, they created memories at the beach. As I gazed at every image, something changed inside of me. It wasn't just about this journey focused on all the occasions I'd been the last thing on everyone's mind. They had forgotten all the birthdays, holidays during which my presence were an afterthought as Jake received precisely what he desired at all times, Imade concessions on their behalf, but they never did the same for me, and I gritted my teeth and inhaled deeply, believing that he would be too wounded to express anything. I normally simply overlook it, but this time they didn't, finish becoming the forgotten one. I was aware that I had viewed the pictures. So when they arrived home a week later, I heard the cab. So I had a plan with them: enter the driveway and observe from the kitchen window while my father and mother Jake went outside with their bags behind them. They appeared worn out, however contentedly sun-kissed from there. I tightened my jaw, forcing the trip to be postponed, myself to remain composed. They were unaware that I had saw the pictures, but not the front yet. When the door opened, my mother was the first to enter. She stated in a voice, "To spot me, Alyssa? Too bright, darling. I missed you." "How are you?" I said bluntly. "I'm busy," with my arms folded. Dad entered after her, placing his "that's fantastic" baggage down. "How's work?" I released a brief, sour laugh that was I worked and scrolled through everything. Their photos, while feigning ignorance, exist to them. Jake stretched his yawn. "Armsman, I'm worn out from all the travel." "It out of you," he said, turning to face me. "I hope you managed to hold the fort," while we had left when I looked at him. When we were away, as if it were typical, as if everything was okay, as if I hadn't spent the previous week playing back their betrayed repeatedly, I stopped trying to breathe and turned to my mom. "How was the day?" My voice sounded unnaturally calm. Journey, she hesitated and squinted. Oh, well, you understand that we only needed a brief vacation. Nothing as well. With a clever lie, I took out my phone, opened it, and swiveled the screen in the direction of the yacht. Beach selfie and the photo album, the elegant dinner, the boat ride, and the caption that gave me the chills. Once more, family time is invaluable. I think it looks special when I tilt my head. There was a dense, crushing hush before my mother laughed nervously. Elisa, I don't know. I don't trust my dad. His voice was icy and frigid. Dad looked sweetheart as he cleared his throat. It didn't stop me from raising my voice. Just be honest with me. You never put off the trip you simply didn't want to take. I watched the remorse flash across my face there, Mom's face, but she covered it up right away. It wasn't like that with a flimsy justification. We only wondered, honey, what Daddy wouldn't. Realized that I yelled would not be able to view the photos that I would be. Jake, you're foolish enough to believe your lie, moaned and rolled his eyes, saying, Oh my God. Are you really making this a big deal, Elisa? Huge thing, but it was only the words trip just a trip struck me as a slap that I had budgeted for and planned that I was meant to participate in. You could have known if I had shook my head. You lied to me instead of telling me the truth, made me believe that I was not valuable, bringing up the sneer from Jake, you're being theatrical. I laughed bitterly. No, Jake, I'm finally telling my mother the truth. Moved forward and grasped my hand. Please. Alyssa, I didn't pull away the number. They needed to hear this time. Is about more than just the journey. Each and every time I've been treated as every holiday that Jake celebrates doesn't matter to me, obtained precisely what he desired, and I, whatever, was most practical each time I put. First of all, you people didn't even observe that I choked my voice, trembling, wondered if I had put forth enough effort, if agave enough, I would at last be sufficient for you, but I never was. Nobody ever said anything. At last, my mother moaned, Elisa, it's not that Jake is more important to us than you are. Smile a little bitterly. Perhaps you don't, but it certainly seems like way to someone else. Stillness, and I nodded in response. Breathing out. Without saying another word, sharply understood it. I picked up my handbag and proceeded to Elisa. Where are you heading, my dear? Dad called, but I didn't turn around. I'm genuinely wanted, but I departed for. I put myself first for the first